Hi there. Marriage, it brings with it happiness. Every marriage promises everlasting joy. But along the way, something may go wrong and you find yourself a widow. This is the African Mom official channel. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Today, we bring you widowhood in traditional African society. The widow in Africa. A widow is someone whose husband has died. In African community, if you became a widow, many things happen to you. Of course, the happiness has gone away. You are no longer happy. But then, societal demands also come to shake your core. For one, immediately your husband dies, you stop cooking. You will stay hungry until another widow comes to visit you. You will stay hungry until another widow is searched for to come and cook for you. Cooking stops immediately your husband dies. You stop bathing because your husband has died in African society. Even if they keep the body for 3 days, you are not supposed to bath. You only wipe the essential parts of your body. For example, the face. The bathing stops immediately. And on top of that, your hair is cut to signify to the whole world that your husband is dead. Can you imagine? You stop cooking, you stop bathing, and your hair is cut because your husband has died in African society. That happens immediately. And on top of that, in our traditional African society, there were no morgues, there were no mortuaries anywhere to keep the bodies. Therefore, if the community you are married in demands that you keep the body for 3 days, my friend, you are to stay with that body for 3 days in that house, you and your dead husband, day and night, for those days, because you are his widow. People will come to visit you, people will mourn, but you are permanently there with that body in African traditional society. You are stigmatized for having lost your husband. And by the way, I have not told you, immediately your husband dies in African society, your name is changed. You are given the name widow. Where I come from, the name is Namulehwa. You are given the name widow. Your name changes immediately your husband dies. That name sticks forever as long as you are alive in Africa. Wherever you pass, it's announced you are a widow. That was our society. You are stigmatized, my friend. The moment your husband dies, you are taken as being impure. You are taken as being a sign of bad luck, a sign of bad omen in society. You are even taken for sexual cleansing. Can you imagine you got married? Nature has taken away your husband. After doing many things to you, now you are given a name. And then you are told you are impure. You are told you caused the death, because in Africa, there's no death that happens naturally. When a man dies, you are branded the name widow. And you are looked at suspiciously because you are a widow. Now you undergo very many things. For sure, they underwent isolation. Isolation. When you go to the river where everybody was fetching water, people stand aside. They look at you, gaping at you, because you are the widow. By the way, even as to stay with the body for 3 days, the day of burial, my friend, the day for burial, you are waking up very early in the morning to go back to your father's house. Nobody cares how far it is. They were to walk over hills and hills, going back to their father's homes to bring food, to go and officially call their relatives, to go and bring vegetables, which was supposed to be meat. You go and now bring food to bring to your dead husband to eat before he's buried. Somebody who died, you are forced to go and bring food before he's buried. So when you arrive with that food, they'll wait for you before the body is lowered into the grave. When you arrive with the food, it is taken by all the mourners to eat. Your work was to continuously ensure there's food in that home as long as you are still keeping the body. There are many things you undergo. Isolation, of course, we have said. Another thing you will undergo in that African society is rejection. Everybody rejects you. Your age mates, your fellow women groups, you can no longer fit because you are husbandless. You are a widow. They are scared that you may take their husbands. So as you walk, you who is the reject, you are isolated, you are neglected. Your friends must run away from you because they are scared of you. I want to say this finally. After all this is being done to you, you don't have any inheritance in that home. African society did not allow women to inherit land. Remember, you are a foreigner on somebody's land, and the person has died. And woe unto you if you only gave birth to baby girls, who are also not entitled to inheritance. So the animals will no longer be yours. The land will no longer be yours. Nobody cares about what you need to take. Nobody cares about your right. By the way, they paid dowry to your people when you got married in that home. Dowry was paid. And now that your husband has died, they even organize for a new husband to report to your house. Somebody you may not be knowing, somebody you may hate, but society decides that because they paid dowry, you are their property. The children belong to them. Therefore, they bring a new father for those children, and that one automatically belongs to your house. He becomes your husband. Now, when you say no to that, you are chased away. You are sent away from that home because the African woman did not have any rights. The African woman, especially this widow, does not have a voice anywhere. To show loyalty to the family of the husband, to show that you are actually the wife of the dead man, you are to observe all the mourning days for that dead man of yours. You will be there for the burial. You will be there for the remembrance. Anytime the season comes when he died, you are asked to remember the occasion. Can you imagine doing that all your life? You were exposed to violence. Everything has been taken away from you. When you ask for anything, you need to bargain for your life. You had financial problems, but nobody cared. You, the African woman. But I'm happy to say that currently all that has changed. You can fight for your rights. This is the African Mom official channel. Subscribe.